All right, everyone. Gonna do some. We'll do some brief thoughts on Stronghold Crusader. As I as I said in my initial spiel here, I usually don't like to give like score ratings to older games just because it feels very hard to judge older games based on current games a little bit. You know what I mean? Following the game, yeah. If you take something like Mario that we played a lot of, it's Super Mario 64 is a great game, and I haven't played any of the modern Mario games. But you could probably argue that a lot of the Mario games continue to improve, right? They're improving on other things. And Mario 64 is unique in a lot of ways, but like how do you judge a game from that perspective, right? When it's I don't know, it feels weird to like put a score on it. And I don't maybe I won't score this, but we'll talk about it at least, like we usually do. I think straight off the bat, just like if you want to like talk about the good and the bad sides of the game, I think that the game is overall really good. Probably difficult to get into for people that aren't super into RTS games or that don't like these types of games. Might be a little bit difficult to get into because the game has a lot of like very intricate complexities and things that are yeah, colon out of colon. That would be great. The game has a lot of complexities and has a lot of like arguably confusing mechanics in it that aren't easy to understand if you don't watch people play the game. As an example, like the whole like just building a giant stone production and selling it. That was not something I did before I saw people do it. Right? There was no point throughout my campaign, my single player campaign missions where I did that. That probably made the game significantly easier. If you watch my VOD for it, it's probably like I built like one or two stone dudes, but I could have been like 50 of them, right? And stuff like that is a huge game changer. The game is also very. I would argue from a complexity perspective, if you take like something like StarCraft 2, where you plop your resource building down right next to the resource nodes, and then they gather into the thing, right? This game is significantly more complicated in that sense because of distances traveled. The units actually have to walk to the buildings. So if you have a wheat farm right next to your stockpile, then your ability to produce food is going to be significantly better than having one halfway across the map, right? There's a lot of stuff like that it's hard to deal with in real time unless you play the game a lot, probably. I imagine the way that like a professional will play this, right, is they would just have a map and they would know exactly the distances on the map and how much they need to produce the various stuff that they want, right? What's like the best bang for the buck depending on the distance. There's probably stuff to be said for like not even producing any food at all if it's just cheaper to have 60 stone buildings and just buy the food, right? There's a lot of stuff like that going on in the game. Same with the little mechanics like churches that give you bonus morale for how many people they can convert or pray to or whatever. But it's hard to like. So it felt like some missions I built like 2 churches, and that was enough to get 100%. Some missions I built like 10 churches, and it wasn't enough. And I think I saw a thread on that on my. I told you before. I think my phone's like listening to me because I'm not logged into Reddit on it, but it randomly suggested some Stronghold Crusader threads. And I think I saw something about like it being a bit or like RNG because your priests have to like go and talk to people, and if the people are like wandering around, it can be like that's like one of the problems with it. And the taverns are the same idea. Like the taverns seemed easier to maintain overall, but kind of same concept where it's like they it's hard to know exactly what percentage you're getting out of them, which can make it a little bit difficult to build those buildings and to deal with them. Which is why at the end there, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna build stuff that is guaranteed resources and money, and it seemed to work out overall. I don't think there's any right and wrong. There's probably a right and wrong, but there's probably nothing where it's like if you do this thing, that's super bad, right? The phones are listening. I was successful both having choices and not having them. I think both are really good. But yeah, I think from complex though, the game is pretty complex, and that's the type of stuff that I would love in a modernized version of a game like this to have better overview for, right? Like, how much wheat am I producing per, minute or whatever? Having maybe it sits in the game somewhere. Maybe I just didn't click the right tab, but having stuff like that available, I think could have been a good idea. That type of stuff that would be cool in a modernized game, just be able to tell exactly what you're producing and what you're not producing, right? So that's like the complexity level, but I still think the game is a lot of fun. The single player, the campaign stuff is the most fun, I think, for me, when they give you very specific situations. Like, you have 100 units that you got to take this castle with. How do you do it? I think those missions are really, really good in single player, and those could have been fun in multiplayer too, of course. We didn't get any of them, but that could have been great in multiplayer as well. For the multiplayer, I think pretty much all those missions were entertaining and enjoyable. Very, very tense. With the combination of it being tense because the situation themselves are like, oh shit. But also, like, when you're playing co-op with someone, you don't want to constantly be like falling behind or literally losing. Which was not a huge problem. I don't think we ran into that too much, but it created a nice level of tension, and the difficulty for those was really, really, really good too. I don't think there's any difficulty slider. We can go look. I saw there were settings. I don't know what I saw in the settings though. Create custom co-op. Okay, that's cool. I don't think I can see it without being co-op. Single player. Oh, here. Game speed and extreme powers. I don't know what the extreme powers are in this scenario. I didn't see any, so. There was a time either we were both fine or both losing, so that worked out well. Yeah, I would say for the most part. There was that one map where I accidentally let my entire south side fall, and I was just desperately running my lord around and hiding in your castle. But other than that, and that was also fine before that happened. I was like attacking and having a good time, and then just like, oh shit. Yeah, really, really good variety in those missions. Like, the map layouts were good, always kind of spicing things up. It's cool to have those outposts. Some of the maps really relied on outposts to make it difficult, some didn't. I would say that the one of the problems this game has consistently, both in single player and co-op, because the NPCs are the same, right? The AI. The AI really, 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 really struggles sometimes dealing with like enclosed areas. You can see that a little bit in the one we just did, where I had like a wall, and the AI was not doing anything, and then randomly when the wall breaks, they send like 6,000 units in. That's probably something. I don't know if that's on the roadmap. Maybe it is. They have new AR lords coming in, but AIV editor. I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's probably like, if there's like one place where this game could improve, where I would like say like improve on this, it would probably just be to make the AI the thing is that the AI can already be really, really aggressive and really hard to deal with, even when you have walls up. It's just on some of the maps they struggle with for some reason, which I don't know why. On some of these maps, they 24/7 attack you with catapults and everything, but they're just gonna like chill out, and they just wait. So that's probably the only place where I'm like, they could probably use with a little bit of refinement. But yeah, I think that the game has some unit variety that people probably rarely engage with, because some of the units are just way powerful than others. Like having crossbowmen on walls, you can probably hold against the AI essentially indefinitely, as long as they can't outrange you with like catapults or whatever, right? The swordsmen obviously pretty powerful, based on the fact that you can just buy them from a without producing an iron or whatever, right? Horse archers clearly omega giga broken, as we saw in some of those like pro matches that we watched too, right? Like if you get some sort of critical mass of horse archers, doesn't seem like there's a lot your opponents can do. But they do have weaknesses still, right? Like they can't really take out a tower full of crossbowmen or whatever. So a lot of like various paths you can go down. We had this one map where using the oil jar throwers was good. So there's enough variety in the units to keep it interesting. And I think like the undersold point of the game is probably the economy, because that's like the big difference for all the skirmish maps we did, and even for the campaign, it's like, how do you establish an economy here? Like, what do you do? Some maps you don't have access to wood, some not stone, some not iron, some not food. Some of them we barely had access to anything. We just started and it was like, oh yeah, you have like 2 wood logs. Good luck, have fun. So that's actually a pretty cool part of the game. That it's probably the part that is like least visible from a viewer perspective, right? Because you're watching the units and the people, but you're not really seeing the fact that if you haven't played the game, you're probably not cognizant of the fact that this is a really fucked situation where we have access to literally nothing. That's sure is to medieval warfare. Have horse archers win every war. True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't think we need to like put a score to Stronghold Crusader. I would just say like, I would say I had a overall fun experience with the historical campaigns. I think some of them were better than others. There was a bit of a there was a huge variety in quality for me in them, and also I would probably say they could maybe tune them a little bit differently. Like I know the one Mottes quit on, which I think is the line one, and that's also one where I was like, what's happening here? We went from like pretty easy mission to like all out hell in like over one mission. So that sudden like jump up in difficulty, it felt a little bit jarring. And I can tell a lot of people may be struggling with that, right? Maybe they should make something that's a little bit more linearly difficult. Would probably make more sense. There's also maybe they should have the historical campaigns tutorial you a little bit. Like it's really hard to see how you just kind of like stumble into solutions sometimes. I got lucky in the line mission because I was just like, I'm just gonna build a church and just build black monks. But that's not necessarily something anyone will think of. And then you just have lines murdering your people 24/7, and before you have a chance to even establish any type of economy, you'll be attacked by enemies. So, and also on that map, once I built a wall, the enemy just stood there. They couldn't do anything. Like. The difficult progression is a bit all over the place, yeah, for sure. And especially for historical campaigns. That's probably something they could like work on if they wanted some criticism for sure. I think the co-op campaigns are the co-op campaign was super fun. That would be like my recommended for if you want to play this game and you have a friend, like co-op campaigns super good. Kind of revitalized my love for RTS games a little bit. Like I would love for more games, for more like co-op RTS games in a similar vein, where you're actually like, where there's a lot of variety, where you're struggling, where there's map variety, enemy variety, solution variety, right? They did a super good job with keeping every map fresh and keeping the challenges fresh, and the fact that it's not the same for both players was also really interesting. So it created cool situations where it's just, like I said, I think my favorite one, I don't remember which one it was. I can probably find it again if I look at them. Continue with the mirror. It wasn't this one. It wasn't this one. This one was good though. I like this one. Yeah, this one. The Divide. This one was so funny because I think what happened here, I think I instantly killed this dude with my horse archers, and then I was just chilling over here with the wall or something. And meanwhile, 24/7, whenever I was to stand up here, everything was on fire. It was on fire. There were units running into his base, just non-stop getting pooped on. Meanwhile, I was just down there playing literal Stardew Valley. It was this map was great. I love this map. The mod for this one. Oh, Alpha, come on, Alpha. The mod for this one is fantastic. This one was so rough. Yeah, for you. For me, this was like the easiest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I was completely chilling, having no problems at all. But I kept hearing fire. Like I'm just sitting here. I was sitting here. I was just like building buildings there. And I'm like, oh, what's happening up with Slambos? Oh, his entire base is on fire. Okay. Well, hey. All right, let me. This one was absolutely fantastic. I mean, all the cities were too, but yeah, that one was great. Wait, what are different birds there, or they're just alternating, I guess? Oh, I didn't have it on full screen, but this one. It was probably too small, but... It's because we're separated here. Slimebot's up here in this corner, and I'm down here, and we have to go all the way around to get to each other. Yeah, this one was really fun. Super love that one. Yeah, I think the co-op in this is super good. I would 100% be up for playing the this whenever they get to this free update with the co-op trail. That should be cool. You know, economy campaign. Oh, wait, we did that one, I think, right? Wait, we did. Wait, no, no, no. I won't do this right now. We can maybe do this later. What the hell? They added a new campaign. This stealth added a new single player campaign. Retire? Yeah, I think that's pretty succinctly what I have to say about the game. Overall, super cool experience. I can see why some people would have some frustrations with this game, because it is definitely. Wait, did I forget to add? 1 second. It's definitely a game that's like, if I went into this no RTS experience, never having played. Okay, Ash is still. He's really hungry. If I went into this no RTS experience to speak of, I've never played an RTS game before. No understanding of like even a vague understanding of how these types of games work. I can definitely see this being like a pretty difficult and frustrating experience. But I think with some of that knowledge of these types of games in this game, I think overall super good game. Super enjoyed it. I did not think I would want to do all the campaigns, but I'm doing that, and then the co-op was great too. Getting crushed by someone PvP also overall fun. So, I think the PvPing is probably where I learned the most of the game too, by far. That would be like my if someone wants to play this and they want to learn the game, I would 100% just recommend either watching PvP or just PvPing. Because despite the fact that I got demolished for the most part, I almost had the first one. I think that was the biggest learning experience for like, what exactly do you need to do in order to succeed? Thinking about where to position your buildings, thinking about what units to build, thinking about just the general economy, like building 10,000 stone dudes. That was really big for figuring stuff out. I am going to make. I'm not going to make food. I have food. I'm going to give the dogs food. Give this guy food. Look at this. Look at this for a second. That's what happens if I do this. What? 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 She doesn't want food. What? I'm gonna give the dogs food. Which is gonna take like 5 minutes. Then we'll do some React streaming. And then after that, we'll either do like a little bit of Wrath, or I'll just end. I'll probably end, but we'll see what happens. Glad you enjoyed the game. Thank you for the redeem. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Super.